This is the Healey Brothers Show.
Today, we're doing one of our employee spotlight episodes. It's myself and Jason Healey, and then our guest is actually my brother, Johnny Paraggio. He's one of our technicians. He's, well, I guess I can't use the phrase the top technician because we have 3 world-class technicians here at our Poughkeepsie Chevy location. But he's our newest world-class technician. When did that award happen?
I officially was recognized back in August is when I became world class, but by the time all the pieces came together, General Motors came to present the award last month.
GM just a little behind schedule.
I was gonna say, well, I didn't realize it was all the way back in August. They're a little behind schedule.
The trophy was backward.
Classic.
All right, so we're gonna overview like his journey, his career, because like myself, Jay, and a bunch of other people started in the doing, little things.
Yeah, I think everyone rapid cleaning cars.
Yeah.
Started when I was 14.
Yeah. So let's start with how you got started first. I know you did the same thing I did, obviously 4 years before me, but the tool room is where you started, right?
It was worse when I got there because it was when we just moved into this building. So it was 2010 or 11, right? I think that's when we moved here.
Yeah, I think you're spot on.
Yeah.
I was too young to remember.
Yeah, I think it's right around then because I was still in high school.
Yeah.
So I remember driving all the cars. I kept trying to drive all the nice ones, and my dad was like, "Absolutely not, you will."
You're a kid.
Go get something else.
Yeah, when we first moved in here, there was all our GM specialty tools that came over from Beacon in totes in the basement, and then we also inherited all of Galleria Chevy, I think is what it was called,
Yeah.
their specialty tools. So I had to go through and sort them all numerically they go back to J20 all the way to J50.
You still remember that stuff?
Yeah,
Is our tool room in the it's in the basement? So yeah. So first off, it's not easy for any technician to go down in the dark hole, but
yeah, I had to sort them numerically, and then I had to hang them all numerically and label them as I went.
No, I did the same thing, but yours was definitely worse because I was like, new tools that came in is what I hung up. I didn't have to go through.
parts. I didn't have to do any tool
Yeah,
room.
parts.
Thank God they never had me work on cars because I wouldn't trust myself. But we'll keep it.
So, and that was when you were in high school, right?
Yeah, I was probably a freshman, sophomore in high school when I was doing that.
Okay. And then after that, you took the same step that a lot of people take. You went into prep. You worked in prep throughout high school.
Yeah.
Right. So, what was it like working in the industry while you were in high school? Right. Because I know you did other stuff.
Well, what made you want to get in the industry first off? Let's start.
Dad and Grandpa. Grandpa owned and operated his own gas station shop for 40-something years. Yeah. And then
your love for the cars, obviously, all that stuff.
And then, love for cars. Dad. I always grew up wanting to be a tech for Healey like my dad. So just everything fell right into place.
Yes. Now, at the same time you worked in prep, you were going to BOCES.
Yes.
So now, after BOCES, how was that transition after you? Because you went right after you graduated, right? You became a technician, like graduated high school, and then...
It was so close, actually. I had finished my finals, but I hadn't gone to, my senior prom yet. So I remember having to leave early, my first full Friday as a tech, because I had to go to senior prom. I was graduated, but not tech.
Sorry, I'm young and you
Yeah. It was still...
Yeah, I know what you mean, because prom is after everything.
That's news to me, that story. The wonders do it.
Regents Weeks was still going on, but I was done. There was 2 weeks I was done after the first week. So week 2, I wanted to start full time and start making money. So I started full time, and then I was like, oh, I have to leave early, Brad. I have prom.
That is hilarious. I forgot, because prom is after finals, after regents.
Yeah, because seniors always graduate early. I mean, I think at Burke I graduated like a month early, and then I was going to prom or something like that. It was that early, but
Yeah.
that is funny.
That's funny. So how was the transition from BOCES to then being under Mr. Timmy Stelz, when you first started out of high school?
Intimidating. Timmy was an intimidating guy when I first started. He seemed like your old school tech, but I learned a lot. First 2 months on the job, I probably learned more than 2 years at BOCES. Because Timmy, great mentor, and I have my own apprentice. I'm on my 3rd now.
You've just got a new one, right?
Actually, I'm on my 4th now. Yeah, I have 2 at the same time right now.
He just left at 11:30.
Yeah, I have my dad started a program actually with Dutchess BOCES where they can intern here.
Excellent.
And so the 3 days a week he comes from 8:30 to 11:30 a.m. and he shadows me and learns from me. But then I also have the tech next to me.
And then he has to go back to high school after 11:30.
Yeah, he's probably like, oh God, I'd rather do this. I mean, techs are hands-on guys. They like to learn with their hands rather than
And they don't
being in a
like
class.
school, I'll tell you that.
I give Timmy props because on top of teaching you GM's way of doing everything, he also relayed the like 400 years of experience he had.
400, that is so mean.
But like that's one thing that's like so important. I mean, for me, I went to college, 4 years business degree. I bet you my NADA going to school and just working in a dealership was 1 million times more worth it in 1 year than I did my 4 years. It's just amazing when you get to a job. Like if you don't learn in a job, like
Difference.
college doesn't matter. I want to be mean, but it doesn't. Unless you're a doctor or
Some places
accountant or whatever.
Some places won't put degrees. So.
YouTube is better probably for stuff than college, and that's harsh on it. I think there's good schools out there, but it's just my belief. And I didn't mean to, but
No, the hands-on experience, and then just like you're working with people that worked in the field for decades. Like the stuff they learn working in the field, they can't teach at school, and then they could pass that down to the next generation of, in my case, technicians or any other employees in the industry.
it's awesome stuff. I mean, it also, what's better than to learn hands-on? Like you're getting the actual experience, and you see all the issues. Like when you're learning in a textbook, it's not the same as in the field.
I got to do a lot of harder stuff right off the bat because Tim Stelz had just had rotator cuff surgery right before I started. So he was in a sling, but he wanted to come in because he wanted to make sure I learned the right way. He didn't want me to get stuck with somebody else that wasn't as knowledgeable as him.
Yep.
So he came in the sling, and he was the brains and I was the hands. I rebuilt my first transmission like a week into the field. He's like, just put this here, put that there. And then he explaining to you why all this stuff's going in places it is and what it does.
Well, no, that actually reminds me, your first car, you were still in high school. What did you have to repair on that? Was it Grandpa that taught you? What was that?
It was Dad. I bought a 2007 Saturn Vue, and it needed timing chains. So I got it for only a few $100s because the guy thought something more catastrophic was wrong with the engine. And in the garage, Dad taught me how to do it, where you put new timing chains on the engine, and I had a couple $1,000 car for a few $100, and I was driving it down the road.
What an investment!
Did you learn more doing that timing chain than you did at BOCES?
Oh yeah, because BOCES, there's as much as you have some hands-on stuff, there's even more textbook work, and they have you take.
It's like the basic.
Yeah, it's just basics. They teach you enough there to get your foot in the door somewhere, whether that's trade school or right into a dealership or another shop. It's enough to get you in, but you're gonna learn way more.
I mean, if you think about it, the best thing they do is partner with real dealerships and let them have real experience. Like
Program we just
that connection, I think, is more valuable than any textbook they could teach you anyway.
Yeah, my dad's on the board of, I can't think of the term he uses. There's a board of, it's on tip of my tongue.
You would know better than me, but I know Brian Gingle does it for Orange County.
He's partnered with BOCES, and he helps them get internships while they're going to school and get them in jobs when they're done. We have 2 younger interns here right now at the same time. This is the second one from BOCES. The other,
Remember the one guy near Tommy Gill that we hired after his internship? Or
he ended up leaving. I don't know why. I think he left the industry. But he was hired straight out of BOCES. This kid's on the fence if he wants to get hired here straight out of BOCES or go to Lincoln Tech for diesel mechanics. But then we have another kid that's going to Dutchess Community College with the GM ASEP program. GM partners with a dealership, helps provide college tuition, sends a kid. You can get a bachelor's degree, I think.
well, I don't know if you can get a bachelor's.
Or not bachelor's, no. It's associate's degree. I didn't go to college. I don't know degrees. You can get an associate's.
You're doing just fine, so don't worry about the college.
You can get an associate's degree and then have a job at the dealership you partnered with right out of college. And Tommy's got that kid. Tommy's got that kid a couple days a week in the afternoon.
So how hard was it growing as a technician? I guess from the basics to the next step, and then just keep wanting to learn. Like, what's that? How hard was that for you, or you have to stay driven, or what advice?
Definitely a lot of drive. Yeah, it's hard. A lot of training. Like when they just handed me their award, they said it's like 450 hours worth of GM training to be fully certified now, on top of the assessments and the automotive service excellency exams you have to take to get to top certification. So a lot of work there, but then it's not going to happen overnight. You're going to make a mistake here or there learning. It's a learning experience, but it's definitely is really hard.
Is it worth it?
Oh yeah, it's worth it. I love my job.
Okay, great.
Love my job.
And what was like the hardest part while doing it? Like to really, like what's the hardest part while trying to grow and get all these accomplishments?
It's probably just trying to balance everything, because you work, right? You have your 8 hours, 9 hours, however long you're here a day, you're working. And then everybody wants and needs some sort of social life when they leave work, a little bit anyway.
Yeah.
But now all that training, most of that's done not during working hours because out of the 450, say maybe 250 of it's web-based training. That's like, it's a web-based textbook. You go through the textbook chapter by chapter. There's a test at the end you got to pass to get credit for that course. I don't have time to do that downstairs here. We got, what, 60, 70 customers a day we want to please and provide a good service to. So that stuff's done at home. I did a lot of it. I'd wake up on Sunday mornings, make a cup of coffee, bang out a couple hours of training.
Lock in and just do it.
Yeah, it's just something you got to balance. But
Which I know a lot of techs do struggle with. There's somebody on the tip of my tongue that I won't name that is a pain to get to do his training. He's a great technician.
They're everywhere. It's not the easiest to do, especially when you're a very talented technician and you know a lot of stuff, but you have to keep up with it to work for certain manufacturers and do that. You have to keep up with it. It is tough. I can only imagine because I don't know.
Oh, and even
1/100th of what knowledge you guys have on working on cars.
even now, it's never done. They come out with new courses all the time, and then I have 10 automotive service excellency exams that I have to renew every 5 years.
You and Tommy were just joking about one of the tests the other day that you're going to take.
Yeah, Tommy has to recert the L1 Advanced Engine Performance test this year, and I'm a bad test taker. So some of these ASCs I took 2-3 times before I finally passed it. Like
Your final one took you a little bit.
I took that one. I took 5. This one, the L1. Took it like 5 times. You needed.
But you pass all the hands tested.
Yeah, those are fine. The certs, I think when I went for the world class certs, I'd do one cert twice. It was my first cert. I didn't know what to expect the first time I went down, but then I was prepped. The other ones I all passed the first time. I had no problem fixing your car, but now if I got to go answer a multiple choice question, I'm like, oh.
Well, first of all, it probably looks a million times different than what you're used to seeing or putting stuff.
Yeah, and then a lot of them are silly questions like they'll just have a sentence and it'll say Tech A says this is the problem, Tech B says this is the problem. Who's right? Tech A, Tech B, both, or neither? So you got to figure that out just by reading a sentence.
No, the funny part with them is they don't grade all the questions.
Oh yeah.
So like you could have technically failed the test by one question, but there's 4 of them that they didn't count, 10 that they didn't count towards the grade. So you could have gotten 9 out of those 10 right, or even 2 out of those 10 right. And they just didn't pick those ones to be on the test, so they were failed by 1.
They're all 60 questions. They grade you on 50. The computer knocks off a randomized 10.
And you could have got all that 10 right.
Couldn't help you until he got wrong.
No, that's what I'm saying. And when I was struggling with this L1, it's the hardest ASE I've taken. There's 2 more that are harder, the L2 and L3.
Well, I bet you I wouldn't get one right, so if that makes you feel better.
Oh, yeah, anything.
But I kept failing it with you need 35 to pass. I kept getting like a 33 or a 34. I'm like, ugh. I got a 34 like 3 times in a row. It's like, I'm so angry.
It took you a long time.
Well, it's some
It's a long
accomplishment.
time period. Yeah, so now if you want to actually go into what it means, because you're a world-class technician, that's the top honorship that you can get from General Motors, right? And I know
I mean, it's the similar across all brands. It's the top one you can get.
yes, you
Whatever they call it, Ford. What's Ford's Master Tech? It's
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if Ford's.
But this one is just the hours you put in. Is
yeah,
just,
if you want to go into what that,
mind-blowing.
if you want to go into detail, really, of what that means exactly, what it means exactly in terms of what it is, and then what it means to you personally.
So for what it is, it's the 450 hours of training that you accomplish. Now you're a gold certified technician. You're considered a master technician by GM standards, but not really yet. So then they have you take ASEs for every category. It's an automotive service excellency exam. You have to take it for every category. Engine performance, there's 2. So I have 10 ASEs I had to take, and then there's 8 hands-on, minimum of 8. There's more world-class technician, master technician certifications. You go down to the training center, and there's actually cars they call it they've bugged. They've put faulty components, broken components, or resistors and wires to simulate a problem. You have to then diagnose the car, hands-on there, find the problem, list off other things that could have caused the problem, write a good story like you're writing a warranty claim. And there's 7 stations. You're timed 45 minutes a station. Not all of them are bugs. Like one of them, the hardest one, a lot of guys say, is for the manual drivetrain one, you gotta disassemble and rebuild a rear differential to spec in 45 minutes. They pay you 2.5, 3 hours to do it under warranty in the shop.
That's crazy.
So
That's messed up.
But that's just knowledge. It's crazy how your brain has to work.
But that is messed up because when they pay you 2.5 hours or 3 hours warranty, they're telling you it's going to take you 2.5 hours.
They want to know your knowledge, I guess. Is how
When we test you, you only got 45 minutes, even though we tell you it's going to take 2.5
like
hours.
anything else in life. They always say you got this much time, but actually you don't. You have this. So
That's crazy. So now, what does it mean to you to be world class?
which is most important.
Yeah.
And then, I can tell you what it means to Healey. It's breathtaking, and we give you guys all the credit in the world. You guys are technician is the hardest job we have. I mean, it's a trade job, and we respect it, and it means the world. I know my dad, when he couldn't make it, I think he was trying to send a video to in his neck brace. It just wasn't. But it means the world, and you guys are so important to Healey being successful. So it's night and day. We wish we had 1 million people, you and the dedication and the drive you have. So
We could if more people did their training.
yeah. Well, it's hard. It's hard. So I want to know what it means to you, because most importantly, this is about you, and it's some accomplishment that you should be beyond proud of, and everyone in your family I know is proud of you as well.
It's tough. It means a lot, but what exactly? I mean, it's definitely like the proudest part of my career. Like it's the top of what I can get to right now. What they offer.
You looking for more?
Maybe.
Okay, I like that drive. I always talk with all the guys too.
Yeah.
I mean, I started in the tool room. Now I'm the top tech. I just want to keep moving up. I don't want to stop. But it's tough because like I was like my dad said when I was doing it. I'm trying to think. I passed all the certs. I had all the trainings, and I was just struggling to pass that last ASE. So I was really world class minus one test without it. So when I finally passed the test, I was like, yes, I passed this test. But
Well, so you're saying your excitement level was lower because of how long it took you to pass the L1?
probably,
Yeah.
No, you're a young kid. You're 430. You're a senior master tech, world class technician for General Motors. You should be super proud, and I know we're proud of you and lucky to have you on our team. So
Thank you.
super big
I
accomplishment.
think this guy would show more excitement
Yeah, I know.
for it. That's crazy.
I love the drive though. It's very I tell the young media content guys all the time. I was like, you have to stay hungry. If you're not hungry, you're so young. You should want more to get better and learn how to be better. Schedule yourself. Just little things like that. So
Definitely the drive was a big portion, but like I was excited like the day I got it, like really excited, and then after I was like, all right, what's next?
Where's the trophy?
My bookcase. The trophy's at home on my bookcase. I have all my certifications printed, hanging in my toolbox because I am proud of it. But
you should be. It's a lot of work, a lot of dedication, and also it reflects in your work to the customer. So the customer appreciates it, believe me.
Yeah.
When you fix their car right the first time, they're definitely appreciative.
Yeah, comebacks, they can get a little upset, just a little bit.
Yeah.
So if you want to talk about Healey, right? So you've worked here, geez, so what age did you get your working?
14.
14, so it's been 14 years.
Let's not throw us out of the bus here if yours too.
Well, no, you get your working papers. You can work. It's illegal.
I was probably working here at 8.
I mean,
Well, if I want to say I was like a toddler,
I was probably
falling
getting dragged around by my dad.
my dad brought us as a toddler to mop the floors with him, and I just remember falling down. I couldn't stay on my 2 feet. I remember that.
I remember when my dad was still a tech, whenever he went in on a Saturday, like I wanted to hang out with dad, he'd bring me in, he'd sit me in the like stool he had in his bed. He'd give me at the time, it felt like chrome wrench that was like this big, and I just, yeah, probably I would just play with that while he was working on cars and hang out with him.
But you didn't actually start working until 14.
No, 14 was when I got put to work.
Yeah. So what does it meant to you to work for Healey? Like, what do you love about it that has made you stay for going on 11? No, year 14. That was 2010, right? So going on 15 years.
14, 15 years, right?
Honestly, there's nothing I don't like, but things that like stand out, the environment, like it's just an amazing work environment working with Healey brothers. Like family-owned business trickles all the way down to the bottom. And then, like we were just talking about before, the way you can advance. I mean, I literally started in the basement. Like, you can't get lower in the building. So, the advancement opportunity for all employees. I mean, another name that comes to mind with advancement is Josh Santos down at our Chrysler store. He started as a part-time parts driver for here, and he's special finance at Chrysler.
Shovel driver, then salesman, then finance.
Yeah, like, the opportunity to grow in this company is amazing. It really is.
So you got any funny? I know one funny memory.
Oh boy. Is it PG?
It is PG.
Okay, good.
Do you remember a patch on the side of the back end of service? Did you ever see a patch, Jay? On the back end of service before they redid the...
Here? In this facility?
You know, we recently redid the siding on the shop. Did you ever see a patch before they redid the siding?
No, I didn't.
That was me. Back when I was in detail, we were trying to get a car moved. So we do the snow removal.
Accidents happen.
Yeah,
Oh, I have my favorite chair.
the prep department does the snow removal. And
Putting your brother under the.
I think Bill probably still has it on video on his computer. He had it saved for the longest time. And the crew at the time, we had Edwin, Lamar, Cerrone, me, and Nigel. Were another guy that's advanced. Another guy that's advanced stuff. He was in detail back then, and he was a salesman, and now he's facility manager. We were in prep, and we were here. It was like 10, 11 o'clock one night, and it's snowing already. We're trying to push all the dead cars out of the way, and there's this big van that's loaded up with stuff, and we can't get. It's dead, no transmission, and we can't get it to move. So Cerrone, who was the prep manager at the time, said, "Go grab the golf cart. We'll park it behind, and we'll like put our feet on the golf cart. They're like, so we can get more tracks. We're just slipping in the snow." So it's like 11 o'clock. Everyone wants to go home. I came around the building hot in this golf cart, and it just lost all traction in the snow. It jumped the curb. It went right through the side of the building.
I gotta go see that video.
And on the video, I was fine. The best part on the video is you saw Nigel's reaction. Nigel's standing there. He sees it happen, doesn't say a word. You just see Nigel turn around to not look at what's going on.
He moved whoever's toolbox was moved in the morning on the inside, and then there was a patch on the building for like, I don't know, 10 years. And then when they redid the siding, no more patch on the side of the building. Yeah.
I'm glad you're okay and nothing bad happened. But
So I thought I'd bring that. It was a little funny
so
memory.
a little bit here before we finish up, and thank you for coming on. Like you've grown. I'd say, I mean, what a story from tool room to master tech. It's pretty impressive, and it's what we like to see at Healey. This is about you, so and we really appreciate everything you do. But if you were to give young technicians advice or anyone coming into Healey, what would it be?
You need drive. It's not gonna happen overnight. You gotta have drive and tenacity. Like you gotta put in the hours, but the rewards equate for the work. It's definitely worth your time and energy to get to the level of master technician. If you're coming into the industry, you don't want to settle. It's just that guy that's gonna change tires and brakes his whole career. You're probably gonna bounce around shop to shop. You should try and stick it at one place, put all your energy and effort into it, and just grind up.
And what would you say to a young person thinking about joining a trade job, not going to school? What would you say to them?
It's worth it if you're not going to bounce around. If you got to commit. Dealership's the best place for that because dealerships have programs in place for younger kids. Like we have internships when you first start. You have an apprenticeship. We have a tool allowance for new hires.
Good benefits, pretty high.
You mean as opposed to like
a Mavis or a Lucas Oil because that gets you into the industry. It's a job.
But you don't get those full skills.
Yeah, and the dealership has like the training path that you could just set you on.
And there's more discipline, and you show you the way. Well, that's great. I think that's great advice, and we need more people like you. And you're probably impossible to replicate, but because of how young you are and driven still, and it's amazing to see. And thank you, seriously.
Thank you. You guys give me a great opportunity here.
Yeah, well, it's people like you why it makes our lives easier. So I figure it out that way.
Yeah, definitely. But I think that's everything. I think we covered.
Bro, thank you, brother, for being a master tech.
No, thank you. I mean, I appreciate it too.
He used to drive around all these ratty BMWs, right?
Oh, now he's driving a Tesla. Dad even look at him?
Maybe. But so he had these. I don't think he's ever. No, you own that one Cadillac. The only GM car he's ever owned. But he used to drive around these BMWs.
Oh, believe me, he calls me. He's like, I got a Tesla. I was like, don't talk to me for at
Well,
least
no, I didn't call you. We were eating food at Kia.
Oh, is that what it was?
So it's like, Jay, I gotta tell you something. You're not gonna be happy. And I was like, I bought a Tesla, and Jake just immediately. I forget what you said exactly, but you were so mad in the moment.
Yeah, I was like, don't talk to me for 24 hours or something
I think you said like you have to be joking, and I'm like, no, I'm not joking.
Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, hit that subscribe button, and follow us at Healey Brothers on all social platforms.